Today, we're going behind the red carpet, past the tuxedos, and straight into the systems that actually decide who wins. We're going to talk about ballots that punish passion, campaigns that cost more than some small country's GDP, and why a fantastic sci fi film is always going to lose to a movie about a sad person in a periodic costume. It's all about the math, the money, and the institutional mood. So, once you understand these three things, the Oscars stop being mysterious, they become almost boringly logical.
Doing
Prakar,
some.
Prakar, what? I thought we'll see you at your new house and not on your bed while recording. What's up?
We thought we'll move by 25th, which was yesterday,
Was
but
yes, yeah.
yeah. But the thing is that there's still some work pending and the house needs to be cleaned. So tomorrow we have like a team coming in to clean the entire house. And now because Holi is just around the corner, we thought we'll shift after Holi, those auspicious day and festival things. I don't believe in it, but like because my parents and then it makes
When
sense.
is uh when is Holi this time?
It's on the fourth, third and fourth. Third is, I think, the Choti Holi, call it, and then fourth is Holi. So we'll shift by fifth or sixth now. But I'll be
Has
shifting in early because I'll shift with a few of my stuff and take like a small bed or just the bedding because I have to set up my studio. So I want to
all right.
use this time to set up my studio.
Nice.
You guys can join in, of course, if you want. If you want to do
Sure.
some work, help me out setting up the studio. Of course,
Do
you
you
guys are
need help?
welcome. No,
Yeah, if
Then
you
why are
need
you
help,
telling
we
us?
can get
If
there.
you need help, we'll come. What nonsense.
no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I was just joking. But yeah, we'll shift
What a
after
weird thing
sixth
to
and
joke about.
we joke about so many weird things, Ashmita. Okay, and you laugh at so many weird things,
I
so
do, I do.
you can't
I do.
complain.
I do. That's primarily the reason I'm friends with the people I'm friends with, including you, because I do laugh at weird things. That's why
Wow.
this is all right.
Otherwise, are you saying that you would not have been friends with any of us otherwise?
It's difficult to be friends with people whose company you don't enjoy. I enjoy weird people's company, which
Yes,
is how you all come
that
into
is
the
true.
picture. Yeah.
I wonder how you enjoy my company then, Ashmita, because I'm not weird.
Sandy, you are a weird enough person. You just don't show it in front of these guys. I know
That is
you.
not true.
I know. Sure.
That is absolutely not true.
Sure.
Prakhar, would you say I'm a
Come on,
weird
Sandy.
guy?
Yes,
How so?
we all are weird. The
How so?
intensity is just different, but we all are weird.
Okay,
That is
tell
the
me something weird that you think I do. What
Sandy,
makes you think I'm weird?
can I
No,
tell
of course
something
you can't.
weird?
You are extremely partial. You are out to prove that I'm a weird person, but Prakhar doesn't
No,
know.
but
I want to
I
get
would
an
give
impartial
real
view.
examples of
I
what
want
you
to get an
do.
see
impartial view.
you look for reasons not to step out, which is a little weird because people
Is
should
it?
step
Is
out.
it though? Is it
No, but
Yes.
though?
that is
No,
the
people
most
should step
normal
out.
thing about Sandy.
No. No. See that in general, I'm saying it's not how weird is Sandy because how Sandy is. I'm just saying in general, how people function. People should step out. You don't step out at all.
Yeah, because I like to stay at home.
That's not weird, Prakhar.
Yeah, I
That
mean, I
That's
don't think
social
that.
anxiety. That is, when our friends were here and we were playing a game, I think we were playing what? Oh, we were playing Tenable. Okay.
hmm,
And one of them was 10 most common fears that people have. And one of Sandy's closest, oldest friends, he was also here, right?
hmm.
And we were in the same team, him and me, and we were looking at the fears. And both of us were looking at Sandy and like, one of these fears is just you. It is 100% you. and
Huh.
it was social anxiety. I was like, how are
Hmm.
you not getting this? This is just one of these fears is just 100% it's made for you. And he's also like, yeah, this is Sandy. This is Sandy. This is just you, man. You have to get it. And Sandy didn't get it. But his reputation is fully, Sandy's reputation is just this.
And not just social anxiety. Like I keep talking about this with Ashmita. Like it has taken me many, many, many years to build this sort of an image almost, like a perception that people have of me. And I don't
Yeah.
want to go back on that, because that
Yeah,
has
yeah,
worked
yeah.
very well for me so far.
Is it like you've never enjoyed like a social gathering? It's just that you didn't know enough back then, or have you changed with with
I mean, it's not that I
time?
don't enjoy social gatherings. I enjoy very specific social gatherings, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
And for a
Yeah.
limited period of time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
Hmm.
you know what they say about introverts and extroverts. It's not about whether you like interacting or not. It's about your social battery, right? And I have a
Yeah.
very, it's like I have a Model 1 Apple iPhone battery, social battery.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
So, I drain out within like half an hour, 45 minutes. Like
That's
not
the
more than
problem
that.
because I also get drained out interacting, like when I'm going out and interacting with people, or even if I'm at somebody's place or if people are at my place. I
Yeah.
will drain out, but I don't drain out as quickly as Sandy does. I take time to recover. Like if I have, for example, this week has been a lot of socializing for me, right? I mean, the climate week is going on, so I have to attend events and everything. Now next week I will be a hermit. I can't function.
Hmm.
I'm just pushing through somehow now
Yeah.
after, and I have attended only like 3 events by now. It's not that I'm doing a lot,
Yeah.
but with Sandy it is literally just a matter of minutes. And I think that does work because sometimes you have these really weird people in groups, especially when they're extended groups, and you have friends of friends coming, or you have, I mean, people you were friends with 10 years back, and then,
Yeah.
in 10 years, you have grown and they haven't. So you don't want to be friends with them anymore, and you don't want
Yeah,
to engage
yeah,
with them
yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
So Sandy has a couple of such friends, right? Whom
Hmm.
I definitely don't want to engage with. And the best thing about Sandy being Sandy is that those fuckers will pressurize everybody else. There is a very, very annoying person in Sandy's friends group.
Okay.
Very, very annoying person, very interfering, very, just constantly behind people's lives and absolutely a little shit. He will pressurize everybody but Sandy because he knows Sandy will just keep saying no. Sandy will not explain also. He will not negotiate. He will not be like, okay, if you shut up, I will do this for 5 minutes. No, Sandy will just keep saying nope. So that really helps. So I saw this at certain places where he would pressurize everybody else. Everybody
Yeah.
else, he would just absolutely crawl up their asses to get them to do something. Sandy, he would fully leave alone. He wouldn't even ask us. That really helps.
Yeah, it
Well,
does
it's
help.
it's good if it works for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
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 And people almost always paint this picture of, that guy doesn't get out of home, so he must feel very lonely or he's very, boring or whatever, right? Boring is fine. Like I don't take any offense to being called a boring person because I admit I'm a very boring person, right?
I don't
But
agree actually.
what I find interesting might not be as interesting to other people, right? And that's fair for everyone. That's
Yeah,
the case
that's
for pretty
that's true
much
for
Hmm.
everyone.
everybody. That doesn't make you boring. I know boring people. You
Yeah,
have met
so
some of them.
but I find my own company, even solitude sometimes extremely rewarding. And
Yeah.
that does the job for me. And on the topic of rewarding, I want to segue into
Oh,
today's
this was a
topic.
segue. Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's okay.
you
We're
know,
just out here helping our friends. It's fine.
yep. So on the topic of rewarding and just awards in general, we are in the awards season. For those of
Oh,
you who are
yes.
vaguely aware of, So this is the time, February, March is the time when usually most of these film awards take place, all the notable ones, your big ones, your Golden
Yeah.
Globes, your BAFTAs, your SAG-AFTRAs, your
Aifa.
Oscars, the biggest of all, the Oscars. And today we'll be specifically focusing on the Oscars and also a very specific facet of the Oscars ceremony and the awards in
Mm-hmm.
general. Let me try and paint a very small scene for you. That it's a scene that almost always plays out every year. Some movie wins the best picture. Duh, always, right? Someone has to.
Yep.
And pretty much immediately, millions of people across the world say some version of, wait, so and so movie won, or I didn't even watch that movie, or some version of that, right? Either you're
Mm-hmm.
aware of said movie and you haven't watched it, or you've heard of the movie but you don't really care all that much about it, or you desperately care about that movie and it won, or you desperately care about some movie and it didn't win. Like it's usually a
Mm-hmm.
permutation and combination of some of these, right?
I
This
want to meet the people who desperately care about a goddamn movie either way.
There are a lot of
I just want to
cinephiles. People
listen.
are very like cinephiles are by definition people who desperately care about movies. They are some that movies are
Desperately
something.
caring about movies in general is all right. That's a hobby.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
desperately caring about one particular movie winning or losing is weird to me. So I want to meet them.
I
I
mean,
want to
people
hear
have
these
strong
thoughts.
opinions in general about everything, Ashmita. Just as you have very strong opinions about
You're
certain
telling
things.
me? Yeah.
Yeah, people have strong opinions about certain movies, certain actors, certain
Oh
whatever
my God,
directors and stuff,
Sandy.
right?
I just want to meet and listen to this. Just calm the fuck down. It's fine.
Yeah, fair. I am not
Yeah,
one of them. I genuinely could not care less. Whoever
I know
wins.
that.
We know. We know that.
Yeah.
So much so that this reaction is so predictable that it's basically a part of the entire Oscars experience by now, right? Right after the applause dies down, confusion kicks in. Here, I'd like to present a caveat that all of this confusion, raging, meltdown, etc., applies only to the people who care enough about all of this stuff. And the rest of
Hmm.
the world, like most of us in this equation, especially, we just go get along with our life because, again, doesn't really bother us all that much, right? We don't have a strong enough opinion about any of these things. So consider this an outsider's perspective and an attempt to understand the whole system that's been running the entire movie industry for many, many, many decades by now, up until this point, right? All of this is because the Oscars present themselves as the definitive answer, the final word, and the serious grown up opinion on all things related to movies, right? Because
Hmm.
that is the biggest statement in terms of movies, right? There is nothing bigger than an Oscar when it comes to movies. So when your favorite movie loses, it feels less like a difference of opinion and more like gaslighting, almost, it feels like.
Hmm.
So the sole point of this episode is to tell you, and this is especially to the people who care, right? This is not for people like us. The sole point of this episode is to tell you that you're not crazy, but the Oscars are also not wrong, technically.
Hmm.
The issue is they're just answering a completely different question than the one you think they are. In today's episode, we are not talking about whether a movie is good, whether your taste is superior or inferior, or whether comic book movies can be considered cinema. We are not opening that Pandora's box, that's for another time altogether, right? We are talking specifically about systems. Today, we're going behind the red carpet, past the tuxedos, and straight into the systems that actually decide who wins. We are going to talk about ballots that punish passion, campaigns that cost more than some small country's GDP, and why a fantastic sci fi film is always going to lose to a movie about a sad person in a periodic costume. It's all about the math, the money, and the institutional mood. So, once you understand these three things, the Oscars stop being mysterious, they become almost boringly logical.
Hmm.
So, welcome to today's episode where I try and ruin the Oscars for you. And
Oh
before you say any,
no.
and before you say anything, I know you're welcome. Someone had to do this. so I'm doing it
Man,
here.
I have so much fun on Reddit after the Oscars, Sandy. What is this behavior? Why are you
What kind
doing
of fun are
this?
you usually having?
Okay, I genuinely don't care who wins or loses, but people have fantastic reactions on everything that goes on in Oscars. So I would strongly recommend going to Reddit, especially if you do not give a fuck about the movies or the awards in general, but you just want to see people's reactions from different
Yeah.
fields, especially fantasy and sci-fi and comic book fans, like Marvel and
Yeah.
DC
Hmm.
fans. I think, okay, I enjoy Marvel and DC movies, but you've got to be delusional if you think that they will win awards. Like,
Yeah,
calm the
yeah, yeah,
fuck
yeah.
down,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Fair.
That's absolutely nonsense. They're not winning
Yeah.
local awards, man.
Yeah.
It's nonsense. But it's
I've
it's
never.
glorious. I hate that you're ruining this for me.
I mean,
Look
I
at
never
Sandy, so
followed
proud.
Oscars.
I
That's a
mean,
proud
this is
face.
my version of ruining it. It might not ruin at all. So this is just something I found a
Okay.
bit interesting, So
Yeah.
it's open for interpretation.
This will be interesting for me because I've never followed Oscars, or to be honest. I mean, I know who wins and which movie
Yeah.
won and all of that, but I don't follow the entire Oscars and what happens after the Oscars have happened because the entire newspaper, like the magazine section, is filled with Oscar news.
Yeah.
So I never
I
followed it. So let's see how Sandy manages to ruin it for
I
me.
go to Reddit over there for the goss.
Yeah, no, fair, fair.
Fair enough. Fair enough. For you, everything is about gossip.
It is. I enjoy
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
listening to
No,
goss.
I agree. I agree. Goss is nice.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
So firstly, the first thing that all of us need to remember or even understand probably is that the best picture is not necessarily the best picture, right? And I'll
Mhm.
get to that in just a second. So before
It
we start
reminds
off,
me of one of our episode, a
which
bestseller
Which
book.
one?
oh,
New
okay,
York
yeah, the
bestseller
NYT
is not
bestseller one,
usually a
yeah, yeah,
best.
yeah. No, fair enough, fair enough.
You've
So,
trained us for that, so we know.
yeah, I mean, there's a theme going on here, I guess. So, if I were to ask you folks what you think the process of selecting the best picture would be, if you had to guess, what would you say it was? Prakhar, I'll start with you.
Viewership, maybe, or
Hmm.
the money which was put. No, not really the money. Maybe the cast, the story, and the viewership.
Fair enough. That's a logical conclusion to reach. Ashmita, what about you?
I have zero idea because if that was the case, then why do people campaign? And why is there money put in campaigning? So is there like a select bunch of people who are selecting the, like, is it like the electoral system just within Oscars? I don't know.
Ashmita, you're closer than you can imagine, right?
Really? What the fuck?
Yeah. So let's start with the one thing that separates the Best Picture award from every other category. And it's the only reason why people keep scratching their heads every March. So March is a very rough time frame. It's usually end of
Hmm.
February, middle of March. That's when the Oscars award ceremony usually takes place. So this system is called the preferential ballot. I'm pretty sure you might have heard
Oh,
about
Hmm.
this
yeah.
Yeah.
somewhere else, right? So this is exactly what you are referring to, Ashmita. For almost every award, such as the best actor, best director, cinematography, so on and so forth, it's pretty straightforward and simple. One voter, one choice, most number of votes wins. It's pretty democratic process, right? Very clean, very easy, very democratic. But for the big one, the best picture award is the biggest one of them all. It's the one that takes place at the very last. It's the biggest deal of all, right?
Hmm.
The Academy took great pains to complicate the process as much as theoretically possible for just this one
Of
single
course.
award, right?
Yeah.
The biggest misunderstanding of them all is that people think that the best picture means the most loved movie. The
Hmm.
fact is that it is not,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't even remotely mean most admired. The best picture usually means the movie that caused the least amount of conflict in a very specific room. And the
Ah,
reason for that is the voting system, right?
Hmm.
For best picture, Academy members don't vote for one film, right? They rank the nominees. So it's usually, first choice, second choice, third choice, and so on,
Hmm.
right? So they use a ranked choice system. Voters don't pick one favorite. They rank all the nominees from the number 1 to the number 10.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys with me so far?
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Right?
like
Yeah.
the curve grading thing.
Yes, exactly. And to
Hmm.
win, a film needs 50% plus 1 of all the votes, right?
Hmm.
Nonsense.
So here's the fun part. Since no film ever hits that 50% mark on the first count, the process becomes a slow motion knife fight almost, right? The film with the fewest first place votes gets eliminated first. And all those
Mm-hmm.
ballots that had that film as number 1, they're instantly handed over to the voters' number 2 choice. So this elimination and redistribution continues until finally one movie hits that magic majority line.
This
It
is a
sound
wild way to do it because all
yes,
of this can be done on an Excel sheet
yes,
Yeah.
in with sorting in like 10 minutes. What is going
yes,
on?
yes, exactly, exactly. So basically, everyone ranks 1 to 10, and the one with the least number of number ones among whatever 1500 people, it gets eliminated
Mm-hmm.
first. And slowly, 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 their votes get allocated to the next best movie, and so on and so on and so on, till the time only one movie is left. And that movie is the one that usually
Oh
wins
God.
the Best Picture Oscar, right? And this, in a nutshell, is what preferential voting is, right? It sounds fair, it sounds democratic in a sense, it sounds like something a very calm and calculating person might have invented. Another thing that I'm absolutely certain a very calm and calculating person might have invented is capitalism. And talking of capitalism, here is a very short ad break, and we'll see you on the other side in a bit. All right, welcome back from the break. We were talking about the preferential voting system that decides the best picture every year at the Oscars. But you might wonder, what does this really achieve? What's the point of all this, right? What it means is that the winner is not the most loved movie, it's the least offensive movie. A movie that 30% of the academy is obsessed with, but the other 70% just flat out hate it, absolutely dead on arrival, right? It will get eliminated fast. The winner is almost always the film that 65% of the voters felt was, and I quote, quite good actually, or more aptly, and I quote again, not bad enough to bore me to death in some
Oh
cases,
shit.
right?
Has this been the same since the inception of Oscars or things have
The,
changed?
I think it definitely has changed, but this has been the system for a
Yeah.
very long time now, right?
Oh damn.
It is basically the ultimate corporate decision making analogy. It's not asking what's the absolute best restaurant for the offsite dinner. It's like asking what place will absolutely nobody object to loudly, right?
You are talking about a very low stakes thing, which is dinner.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, legitimately large decisions are taken this way, where, especially if you're in fucking marketing,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know this, that in the room, everybody has an opinion. And firstly, nobody from outside marketing knows how to do marketing because they haven't studied it, and they will have an opinion. They will always, I haven't met a single person in topmost positions who don't have an opinion on marketing, and
Yeah.
very confidently so.
Yeah.
Like, I met somebody the other day who is a journalist, and then he is now a PR professional, and he's like, marketing is dead. And I'm like, how the fuck do you know, friend? Like, nobody's asking you. It's a wild thing to do, and this is like corporate bullshit across. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to actually take a step, but everybody has an opinion. So I'm not surprised at all that to appease people, this is what is being done.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
Yeah. So this system is basically designed to structurally filter out all disagreement, right? That's the entire point of this best picture voting process. This is exactly why the best picture winners often feel very safe, respectful, and maybe just a little bit beige, right? They are consensus champions, not passion projects. For some odd reason, they tried to complicate the process for the best picture award only,
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
I don't know why, but it is what it is, right?
They need something to do.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
don't diss them like this.
Very briefly, I want to take a very short tangent from the topic at hand. I also want to briefly talk about a notable point in this entire scenario, and a little bit of it will start to make sense. In
Mm-hmm.
2012, the LA Times investigated the over 6,000 members of the Academy to get a sense of their age, race, and other demographics, right? Though there are no bonus points for guessing the correct answer here, would any of you care to hazard a guess what they found out?
White men, old white men.
Yeah.
So for listeners, this is a chart about the demographic, which is the most unsurprising finding on the planet.
If you can just quickly summarize what the infographic says for the audio listeners, Ashmita, can you please?
Yeah, so basically the headlines only. It says mostly white people, mostly older people, mostly male, mostly working, which I mean is, I
Hmm.
assume is just the service class population, I think, in within the film industry or television industry, and mostly not Oscar winners, which is very funny to me.
That was the funniest one to me. Like I haven't won or achieved jack shit, but I will judge you.
Okay, Sandy,
No, no, I get that. No,
on
no, yeah,
behalf
right.
of talentless critics, let me just take the side of my people. We might not have the talent to create something great, but we can identify when something is bad.
No, no, that's fair. That is fair. That is fair. That is fair. See,
Okay, also, it is
yeah.
hilarious. Okay, it says slightly more diverse in recent years. Since 2004, the Academy has published the names of invitees. Though younger and more diverse than their Academy predecessors, the new members have not materially changed the overall demographics, which is okay. 2004, this is we are talking 2004 and after. From 94% white, it has gone to 89% white, which is not an improvement that you should
Yeah.
even mention. And this is horrible.
And the number of
It's
the male percentage went down from 77% to dun, 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 74%. My God, such a radical change. Such a radical change, right? So now after this, now imagine if this audience was presented the option for the Best Picture award. You know what is going to happen, right?
yeah, yeah.
This sort of
Yeah.
starts to make sense now, right? This is exactly why I wanted to bring this in, so that you get a better idea of what the corpus is, the corpus that is voting for the Best Picture award every year, right? So moving on, the Oscars are an election, they are not an award show, and this is specifically the case for the Best Picture category every year.
Mhm.
At this point, you might be forgiven for thinking that the preferential ballot is the main reason why certain films win. Luckily for you, that's only half the story. Now we talk about the money. And just in case you are wondering, we're talking about big money,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
The
That gets
Oscars,
worse.
yeah, the Oscars aren't just an award show. They are, for the studios, a full contact, multi million dollar political campaign almost, right?
Yeah.
Studios can drop anywhere from 10 to 30 million dollars just on their best picture push. That's more than some of the nominated films cost to make.
Can you imagine the process? Like,
Yeah,
some things are super serious, right?
yeah.
But can you imagine the push for a best film, a best picture campaign? and you are sitting like in a Godfather type of situation. There is
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
have called people, and it is a dark, dingy sort of a section, and you are sitting over there, and you have a cigar in your hand and maybe some scotch, and you are waiting for this film producer to come in and to fucking bribe you for what? For best picture. It sounds so unserious in my head. It's just ridiculous, dude. But it's also glorious to imagine. My head is fully there now.
And you know what? This movie that you just presented us with might not win the Oscar.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Right? To nobody's surprise, all of this money isn't for charity of any kind. It is for basically managing attention. Right? In this regard, I have a very specific example to give you. It's a very recent one. Let's talk about last year's winner for the best picture. It was this movie called Anora. I don't know if either one of you has heard of this movie. It's a movie called
Nope.
Anora. It is basically a Cinderella story about a lap dancer who meets, falls in love, and marries the son of an oligarch. That's it's a very
Hmm.
oversimplification of the movie, obviously, but this movie won the best picture in last year's Oscars, right?
Sorry. If you had to point out one nuance of the movie of a stripper who meets a son of an oligarch and marries him, what would be that nuance?
I haven't seen this movie, so I won't be able to tell you. So,
I bet there is none. There is, I bet. Because this is the oldest rom com
yeah, yeah, yeah.
trope on the planet. There's no nuance. This is not oversimplification. I'm sure. I haven't watched the movie. I am sure that's not the case.
See, I
For
haven't
sure,
seen the movie
Quest.
myself, and I'm sure it's great. We don't need to get into the weeds about the movie because it
Please.
isn't really relevant to us right about now.
Okay,
But
sure.
what is interesting though is the fact that Anora spent about $18 million on the marketing. The for your
One eight
consideration,
eight zero.
one eight, one eight, one eight, $18 million
Hmm.
dollars on the marketing, right? The interesting thing about this is that the entire movie production cost about $6 million. The marketing cost $18 million, right? So
Whoa.
Wow.
the Oscars push for the movie was worth $18 million, three times the amount within which the movie was produced, right?
Can you imagine how little they are paying all of their crew then?
I mean, I don't want to get into that now. That's a different topic altogether. So,
That's horrible. But
yeah. So,
okay.
just some of the marketing stuff that they did. Can you see this?
Is that a
What?
thong?
It is a thong. Yes, it is a thong. Just as an example, for those of you who remember how Ted Lasso did its marketing, they used to distribute these short crumb biscuits to people. You remember during
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
first season. So the
Yeah.
Yeah.
basically they opened up this shop and they started selling this limited time merchandise for in the form of these thongs, these t-shirts like this, and
That's
yeah,
quite nice. The t but it's so basic.
I mean I
Yeah.
didn't design it, so it is what it is. I mean I
So
don't care.
basic.
Yeah, but yeah, just to give you an example. So why they did all of this is, and why they spend so much money on the marketing is because Academy members who actually vote for the best picture are understandably very busy people, right? They're directors, actors, costume designers, editors, so on and so forth. Basically, everyone who is involved in the filmmaking process. They
Yeah.
don't have the time to watch every single nominated film. They are human. So they respond to what is put in front of them. And that is where the campaigning comes in.
No, now you need to, I'm so sorry. Now you need to imagine with that guy who was sitting in a dingy dungeon with his
Yeah,
cigar
yeah.
and his scotch. Somebody comes and gives him, money and everything that please, like, this is, let us take you out to dinner and everything. And also, by the way, on the side, this be a thong for your thing. Like, what was that conversation? Fuck, what would I not give to be a
And
fly on the wall for Oscar campaigning, dude? This is
and you still
amazing.
might not win.
Yes, yes.
Yep. 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 So
Oh God, this is
what
so
what
fun.
entails what entails all of this campaigning? When I talk about campaigning, it's a very broad term, right? So there are a few things that
Mm,
they do as a part of their campaigning. The first is, I think most of us are aware, they are called these for your consideration ads, right?
mhm,
They aren't necessarily movie trailers. They are basically full page ads in
Huh.
Variety and The Hollywood Reporter that try to sell the importance of their movie. It's basically like an advertorial for the movie, if that makes sense. Then you also have some private screenings and dinners, non-stop catered events with the star and director there to essentially charm voters one on one. And when I say voters, we're talking about the people involved in the filmmaking process, the members of the academy,
mm.
right?
Yeah.
The third version of this is narrative control. The PR machine's ultimate goal is to make a film feel inevitable or necessary. It stops being a good movie and it becomes the movie that speaks to our current moment in the zeitgeist. Disagreeing with it almost feels risky in those circles, right? This is where the PR machine comes into full swing. And this is how the term Oscar bait was coined. So there are certain movies known as the Oscar bait. These are films, usually periodic pieces, biopics, or dramas, mostly about suffering of some kind, that are engineered from the ground up to appeal to the Academy's traditional, serious minded palate. They aren't trying to win your money at the box office, they are trying to win an old man's vote for Best Picture. See, the key takeaway among all of this discussion is the fact that it's not bribery, but it is extremely relentless, all of this campaigning, right? The
Mhm.
Oscars
It's fully
ultim
bribery only.
I mean, it's not technically bribery. All of this is within the
This is
laws
bribery
of
only.
no. You're basically wooing and charming. So if presidential campaigning is bribery, then this is bribery. You know. So right,
Sure. I don't mind calling it a bribery
yeah,
as well, but who cares? Though who cares what I think? Yeah.
yeah. The thing is that the Oscars ultimately reward the studio that ran the cleanest, loudest, and most strategic campaign. It stopped being about who deserved it and became about who
Mhm.
managed their industry's attention most effectively. It became professionalized, and that's a whole lot less romantic than expecting the literal best picture to win the award on merit every single time, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of things that are a lot less romantic, here is another short ad break, and we'll catch you on the other side. Welcome back. Now we will be talking about something that riles up movie fanatics a lot. The biggest question of them all: why do popular movies very rarely win? This is something that makes people the angriest, apparently. You understand the voting system by now. You understand how the campaigning works. But one question still looms large in the air, right? Why does a wildly popular, beloved, culture shaping film still get snubbed year after year? Any guesses on your end if you had to make a guess? What would you say is the reason? So when I say a wildly popular, beloved, culture-shaping film, think of movies like your Avengers, your Star Wars, your Indiana Jones. These are like wildly popular. These are movies. Back to the Future. These are movies that almost shaped a whole generation of people, right? Like a whole generation of people grew up on this. But you very rarely, if ever, see movies such as these end up winning the Best Picture or an Oscar for anything, right?
Do these movies, do the studios campaign when these for these movies?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
I don't know,
No,
maybe
but
because of the demographic of the selectors. Like old white men are not probably not sitting down watching Avengers or Star Wars or something like that. So they look past it. But they very clearly are very interested in strippers choosing men like themselves. So
that is certainly one way of putting it. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, the answer is a slightly more predictable one. It is sort of similar to what you said. It is basically institutional prejudice. It is something known as
of
genre
Mhm.
course.
bias. So the Academy has a very specific idea of what constitutes serious cinema.
Wait, in serious cinema, the stripper choosing an oligarch's son as a husband is serious cinema?
Again, I haven't seen the movie. If someone who has seen the movie wants to come forward and explain this to Ashmita, please feel
I
free to
need
do
to see
so.
this movie. I
Yeah,
need to see this
it is
and
available on
really
Hotstar.
understand.
It is available on Disney
Okay.
Hotstar. Yeah,
Okay. And on pirated channels if
sure.
somebody wants to
Yeah,
watch it.
yeah. So
This is wild to me. Okay, but please go on.
the Academy has a very specific idea of what constitutes serious cinema, right? And their favorites are pretty consistent. What they love are historical dramas, biopics, serious personal suffering of some kind, and any scene involving a British person doing extreme emotional labor. Also, they are suspicious of the academy, back to the academy. They are suspicious of films which have comedy, horror, sci fi, action, and especially animation. Anything that
Oh
looks
my
like anything,
God.
anything that remotely resembles like people making it for having too much fun is immediately considered suspicious.
Actually, that
But
tracks from what I
Yes,
know of old white men. Yeah,
no,
yes.
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. That is fully, I get it.
So, this institutional taste creates the blockbuster paradox. From the Academy's perspective, if a movie made $1 billion, like a Dune Part 2 or a Wicked or even Avengers for that matter, it's already been validated. It got its cultural reward. Awards, therefore, are framed as compensation for seriousness, legitimizing films that didn't dominate the marketplace necessarily. Popularity in
mm,
this case actually becomes a disadvantage. Mass appeal looks like a lack of artistic struggle to the people at the academy. And that's how,
Fuck all thing
wow.
to even
yes, that's
say.
how something like a horror film or a comedy film that critics loved and audiences adored, a film that will be talked about for a decade, gets relegated to the sound editing category and is told to be grateful. So if you notice, next time you take a note of the nominations for the Oscar Best Picture, note that
Yeah.
almost all of them, or at least the vast majority of them, will be all of these like will be very close to either a biopic or a drama or some intense personal
Hmm.
struggle, some very depressing movie of some kind. It will almost never be any sci-fi movie or a comedy or a horror of some kind, right? Just just try and take a note of that. So what these
Unfortunately.
movies did was they failed the Oscar exam, not because they were necessarily bad, but because they answered the wrong question altogether. The Oscars are not asking, did this film change how people think? They're asking, did this feel serious in the right way? And what the right way is, that is up to the whims of the people at the academy,
Old
mostly
white men.
old white men. And as we've established, the right way is usually very quiet, very dramatic, and set in a time before cell phones existed, mostly. Right. By now, you might be wondering, what is the point of all this? What are the Oscars actually measuring? Right? Here is the final punchline. The Oscars are not broken. They are in fact painfully precise. They perfectly measure the consensus among a very specific group under a very specific system shaped by very specific incentives, right? They reward consensus and respectability and they penalize polarization and novelty. The next time your favorite movie loses and you feel very strongly that it was robbed of its chance, remember this: it wasn't robbed and it wasn't ignored. It just failed a very specific, very strange exam. An exam that values agreement over passion and emotional safety over creative surprise.
Are you
Mhm.
telling me, Sandy,
Yeah,
that old white men don't like it when people disrupt the status quo and when they go against the grain?
I think so. Maybe.
How
Who knows?
dare you? How
Who
dare
knows?
you?
I have never seen the inner machinations of an older white man till now. How would I know, right?
Yes, we just don't know enough about them in the
Yeah, yeah,
world.
don't know
We
enough.
haven't had that kind of influence to know enough about them.
They're an endangered species. I mean, we need to, you know, be very careful. The Oscars don't tell you what the best movie was. They tell you what a room full of powerful, busy people could finally come to an agreement on without fighting over it. And once you understand all of this, the confusion pretty much fades away, right? Now things start to make a lot more sense. The disappointment, well, that's just part of the experience by now. And on that note, that is the end of our topic of the day. That was the whole Oscars.
Really?
Hmm.
Yeah. So what if any are your takeaways about this whole Oscars thing? Now that you have a better understanding of how the voting process works and who gets to decide and how they decide.
Nothing good ever happens if you put old white men in charge.
I mean that was way too easy to take away, Ashmita. Like come up with something
But that
new.
is my key takeaway.
Come up with
That is
something
my,
new.
and if you want to slide in like unserious things into serious rooms, then talk about strippers choosing businessmen and oligarchs' sons
Fair
as
enough.
their husbands, because it's not happening to those sons in real life, right? Very clearly.
Yeah, possibly.
So
Yeah.
cater to those fantasies. That probably helps. I really need to see this movie. I cannot get it out of my head that how they made the most common trope something that was Oscar worthy.
Okay, how about this, Ashmita? In that hypothetical scenario of yours that you were painting for everyone else, why don't you add all of the learnings till now and paint a fresh picture?
You want me to go back to the dingy
Yeah,
dungeon?
yeah, yeah, yeah. But from the start, now that we have the full picture, right? Now paint a full picture from the start. I'll make this a promo clip.
Okay, I'm going to try. I'm going
Yeah,
to
yeah,
try
yeah.
doing this.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So we have this old white man, right, in Godfather style. He's sitting in, those old garages that are now
Yeah.
converted to be used only and only by the mafia. It is dark. There are old covered cars and disgusting, dirty covers are over there. There are these. He's surrounded by these men wearing overalls for some reason, pretending to be mechanics, but it is actually a front for, wait for it, Oscar bribing is that is what that is what it's a front for. So there's this old like bulky man, and bulky not on the chest area, right, but on the stomach area, because
Yeah.
this is an old white
Yeah.
man. He's sitting over there with cigar in one hand and with scotch in one hand, and bought like single malt scotch, bought from the highest and the most aged barrels because of all the Oscar money, of course, that that he's getting. And he's sipping that and he is smoking his cigar and he's just waiting for this one studio officer to come in, this lanky man who is very clearly a working class man. They are
Yeah.
all men. The
Of course.
13% or 23% women are not quite visible
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
These are all fucking men. So this lanky working class man comes in. Hopefully, the studio also sends a white man because you are catering to the white burly man
Mm-hmm.
that is sitting on the chair. But this man is the studio man is running around. He's busy. He has to take these large boxes of money in one hand and thongs in the other hand to so many places. So he's busy, right? And this is his whole job. This is all he does. Year round, the studio hires this white, lanky man with a stubble and with wearing specs, looking a little bit serious, but not too suspicious, blends right
Mm-hmm.
in because
Mm-hmm.
he has to give a bribe. So that's what he has to do. He has one large suitcase of the old timey suitcases, they
Mm-hmm.
are steel suitcases and you have to do tuck tuck like
Yeah.
that. You
Yeah.
have to open, and that is full of cash. They are not like small bills, they are at least $50 bills. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
how
yeah.
much they have to bribe. So I'm just assuming, or $100 bills, I don't know. And it's full of that. And he's gone over there, and he also has a small dainty little purse that he is also carrying for some additional benefits. And when he goes to this white old man sitting in Godfather style, and the white old man asks him what he has brought for him today. He wants to know what this young, lanky gentleman can possibly do for the world and the immense power that the world of old white men of Oscars hold. What can he possibly do? And he shows them the money. The young man says, "Sir, all I can offer to you is this, I don't know, $100,000 or $200,000. What is good money in US? I have no idea. So maybe $200,000. Sir, this is all I can offer you. But more guarantees that I can give you is that when you watch this movie, you will for sure be crying and have a boner. Like, it is not going to, the boner is not going to make you feel as if you're watching an unserious porn movie, but no, you will see strippers, you will get a boner, but it is also going to make you cry. So you're going to have both of this. So when you choose this movie, you're not going to be dissed by your respected and such highly valued colleagues across the globe. You're going to be accepted and you're going to be revered amongst your colleagues. But the old man is still not fully convinced because he's like, $200,000, I make that in 3 days. Like, how does it matter? I have a mining company and there are children working for me and I don't pay them. Anyway, they are all going to die in the next 3 years out of the mining pollution, so I don't have to pay them. I make enough money. I make $200,000 in 3 days. So why would I need your $200,000, right? So the old man is not quite convinced, and this is where the young, lanky gentleman takes out his secret weapon, which is that small purse that he was carrying. And from there, he brings out this red thong. And it has what written behind it, Sandy? I've forgotten the
Anora.
name.
Anora.
Anora, the name of
Nora
the
written
movie. Yeah.
behind, Nora written behind it. And he presents it to the gentleman, saying, "This is a thong for your thing, and this is this is what you wear along with the people you're watching with. I'm assuming with $200,000 being made in 3 days, and the amazing empire that you have built, and also because people should be grateful to be just able to hang out next to you. You bring so much to the table, being an old white man, that is your biggest qualification, and you bring so much to the table. So they should just be grateful, and you make everybody watch this, and like I mentioned, there will be tears and there will be boners. And of course, there are going to be people of color. There are going to be brown people and black people whom I'm sure you don't want to see them wearing thongs. I totally get it. You are a white man. You want to see white women wearing thongs. I'm assuming you're a straight man, because why wouldn't you be? So for them, you have these white t-shirts with pictures of strippers, white strippers on them. So even if you're hiding a brown person, you can still see the white person. And that is what sells the movie to this old white man.
Great. Thank you for that, Ashmita. I wanted a promo out of this,
Yes.
not a whole movie. So clearly, this can't be a promo anymore. This will
Mhm.
remain in the episode, but I can't use this for any kind of promo because 15
Can
minutes
you
long is
delete
not a
this
promo.
damn thing because it was too long?
15 minutes long is not a promo. It's an entire movie, short film by itself, right?
The
But
documentary.
You
but
wanted
what
me to combine everything, so I
yes,
combined
like I
everything.
thought when I said I want to make a promo out of this, you would understand it should be 90 seconds or less. Not like 15
We can
minutes
edit it.
to 90
We can
seconds.
edit
It's
it.
impossible. It's absolutely impossible. Right? But what I can assure you is that a movie about that lanky white movie executive will definitely win an Oscar. You know,
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
because of the hardship, the personal struggle, Sisyphus like the hardships he's facing. So yeah, 100%.
Sisyphus like hardships.
You know. Anyway, now it's time for my recommendation of the week.
Recommendation time.
And while we're on the topic of movies, I want to recommend a great podcast hosted by one of my favorite people in the showbiz, Brett Goldstein, aka Roy Kent
Um,
from Ted
Mm,
Lasso. So he has this amazing podcast called Films to be Buried with. So in
mm,
this, he has guests on and describes to them in vivid detail how they have just died and gone to heaven, and then asks them almost sort of philosophical, emotional, and oftentimes nonsensical questions that the guests answer with the names of movies that they've seen in their lifetime, right? So,
oh, fantastic.
yeah,
mm.
so the questions are almost always like, what was the first movie that ever made you cry? Or what was the first movie that you ever saw in a theater? Or what was the first movie that ever gave you a hard on? So on and so forth. Stuff like that. That made you feel all tingly in all the right places, stuff like that. The first person that you saw with a parent, or just
Mhm.
trying to explore the guest's life through the very limited scope of movies that they've seen throughout their life. Yeah.
I want to know what was the first movie that gave you guys the first hard on.
Hmm.
Why are you
Mm,
making a face? Like, genuinely.
no, no,
Because
I'm
mine is
thinking.
very embarrassing. Mine is
Go on.
super, super embarrassing. Mine is Doom.
Aye, hi.
The
What?
first one.
Who? John Abraham.
Yes,
Fair
Sandy.
enough. Fair enough. I mean, John Abraham is a good-looking guy. Can't
He
deny
is
that.
gorgeous. He's a
Yeah, yeah.
beautiful specimen of a
That is
person.
true. That is true.
I think maybe the Titanic scene where
Probably.
he,
Yes, so many of our age group people, for them it
yeah,
was Titanic.
Are we talking at home or are we talking in a movie theater?
How does it matter? The first
Okay.
hard on, the first boner.
I mean, I genuinely can't recall any before that, but I think the first one that I can consciously remember is probably 300. In 300, there
Okay,
are
I
the
get that.
mm,
that Lena Headey has this very sensual scene, and there is a very sensual
Yeah, yeah,
sex
yeah.
scene in that. So that probably that one that I can think of the top of my head. I'm sure there were more before that as well, but that's the one I can think of the top of my head,
Nice.
right?
That's a good movie. Because I fully expected both of you to say Titanic only.
See, the
Because
thing
that,
is, Titanic I watched way after it was released, like many, many, many years
mm,
later.
yeah.
yeah.
So
I mean, it
yeah,
was released before we were born, right? When was it released?
it was I think 98. It was not before we were
Oh,
born.
okay.
Mm,
Much after we were born.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, much after. Yes. So yeah,
Yeah.
films to be buried with. It's a very interesting listen, and many times you get to know a lot about a person based on the types of movies they choose to answer these questions with, right? It's a very fun listen, and I very highly recommend it. I do keep listening to it on and off, depending on who the guest
mhm,
is, to be very honest, because I don't know. There are some very obscure people, but some people I'm very huge fans of, so I end up listening to those episodes specifically. Also, in closing, if you admit to knowing more than us, which is a very low bar to be very honest, regarding the Oscars or anything related to the Oscars, please do reach out to us at don'tknowdocare1@gmail.com. The one is numerical. Or you
yeah.
can reach out to us on Instagram at DKTC Podcast. We are at DKTC Podcast on YouTube as well. Please drop into the comments there, give us a like, please subscribe to our channel. It helps us out massively. If you're listening to us on any of your podcast platform of choice, please give us some good ratings there. It helps us reach new audiences. It helps us keep motivated and try to do more good work, try to improve the quality of our podcast as well. So yeah, all of that helps massively, and yeah, that brings us to the close of the episode. We hope to catch you in the next one. Up until then, please take care. Bye bye.